motion.
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Witten, supported by Councilman Slavin. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is open business. Before I forget, number one, our next meeting and study session will both be on the same date because of the Martin Luther King holiday. So instead of having a study session on January 17th, that study session will be held on January 18th at 5:30, immediately before the regular council meeting that will be at 6:30. Make certain that we note that in publications. And next, have received a email from a resident who asked that this be raised in a public forum. She was not able to come to the meeting today. This is from Sherry Engelbrink. And this has to do with, I'm not going to read the entire message here, but as we get into the winter months and really all year long, we've got a new contractor. I think they're doing their best, like anything with trash pickup. If there are any concerns, the simplest way is to go to the iCare Taylor app. That starts a shot clock for the contractor to remove or pick up your trash, or if there's any issues, right? There's a portion in the contract, but really that wasn't her point. It was that, let me look through here. I feel that perhaps a reminder to the residents would be in order regarding trash pickup. Remind them that the containers do not go in the street, although priority being dropped off do that. So don't put the containers in the street. Do not overfill the containers. I think the original issue is trash blowing down the street, and of course, again in the winter months, like normally in the summer, people, if they saw some debris, they'd pick it up, but accumulating. But that noticed where people have filled it, and it is a different arm operation, or at least on some of their trucks. I haven't seen it, but just her concern had to do with making sure that as the container is able to be closed, and then any type of recycling should be broken down and not placed whole in the container. And then finally, that parking on the street on trash day is a no-no, to quote her exactly. So understand that from time to time some folks are not able to come to the council meeting. If there is a question, those that are watching it from home, you're free to contact any of the council members here, the council secretary, or myself to bring up during the meeting. And yes, we have gotten comments about the curtains. This is something that may be brought up at a later time. That's probably it in terms of the messages that I received. Mr. Slavin.
You were right. We're going to recognize Mr. Tenney.
Sure. Please come forward.
And I apologize.
Good evening, everyone. Michael Tinney, 14662 Dean. Thank you to Mayor Woolley and the council for your votes, and I hope I don't let you down. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for serving.
And I'd like to say we hopefully never have an issue before you.
Yeah.
That is the goal, but please keep everybody's feet to the fire, and no matter what that may entail. So thank you. Any further open business from the council?
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Witten.
I believe this will go to Laura, but there was a question raised on I believe it was McKinley and the road servicing, and that that it is a private road, and that's why there's certain things that are not done, and there is a possible avenue if they so chose. Is that correct, Laura, to make that not a private road if they want to get those services?
Yeah, good evening through the chair. It would be up to the residents to get together to request it be turned into a public road, because currently it's a private road, which is private property. The city can't maintain it or go onto it because it is private property as it is. We don't maintain private roads.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Mayor?
to add that, it's been some time, but there was an attempt, I think, years ago, but the resident chose not to.
Yeah, it's my understanding that, yeah, years ago, the residents along the street were questioned, and some of them didn't want it. A lot of residents want the road to remain private, so there's no traffic on the road, et cetera, so unless all the residents agree, it would be very difficult to do that.
And if they wanted to do that, they go.
There is an avenue. They could start with the planning department, and we can help them.
And if not, then we can't use the Act 51 road money and such to do that.
Not to do private roads.
Thank you.
Okay, before you go, so there's really multiple avenues. One, where the city, if we were petitioned, the council could vote to make that a public road, correct?
Then that's kind of touchy. I would refer that to Corp Council, but that might be considered a taking. You would
Okay.
have to pay them for the road, and you would have to have a purpose to do it.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify, because I think what you're talking about in terms of a petition is for a road improvement, and the cost of that road improvement would then be levied on the taxes of all the residents on that private road. Is that correct?
There's, like you said, there's several ways it can be done. We most recently done it with Menards because they owned all the properties. There has to be surveys done, there's expenses to it. So once the residents, if they all agreed, they would come, and at that time we would investigate and see which route that we could go.
Okay, I think that's the pertinent question, that the person concerned wanted the city to take it over. And that, to my knowledge, in looking over the list,
I think she just wanted it fixed. I don't know if she wanted us to take it over.
okay,
No, through the chair, normally on private roads, all the adjoining properties usually have some sort of entity where they all contribute so much a month or whatever, and they pay for the maintenance of their own private road. That's kind of the norm on the private roads. We have private roads all over the city, but we don't maintain any of them. And it would be very difficult to just maintain one private road without doing all of them.
okay, but if it's, because I know this issue came up in terms of snow plowing where I live, which is a private road, and my understanding, right, the city cannot do that
Correct.
for
'Cause the
free.
association-
And then there was, an hourly rate, DPW, and then the question came up whether or not, in what priority would it occur, and ultimately there was a number of back and forth discussions. Actually, I wrote a letter to the council